Greetings everyone and welcome to No BS Baking. You got JP here and today let's talk speed. Now baking is not the fastest process out there for quickly making something to eat. It relies on chemical and physical reactions to take place, and this unfortunately can take time and of course patience. There are a number of methods which are used by people who want to make products as quick as they can to either fit their busy schedules or simply the time that they have or want to focus on cooking or baking. Today we'll look at some of the fastest baking methods and explore some cool options that you may want to consider. So without further ado, let's go. Now when it comes to lickety-split breads, one cannot go without making mention of flatbread. There are a number of flatbreads that can be made quickly and easily in under 30 minutes. However, some varieties can be just over an hour, and even others like naan can take up to 1.5 hours, and some even a bit longer, pending the recipe, process, and style of flatbread you're trying to make. Chapati, roti, and tortillas are just a few. However, there are many ethnic variations for this style of bread, and loads of recipes can be found online. Quick bread is any bread leavened with a chemical leavening agent rather than a biological one, like yeast or a starter. One of the main advantages of quick breads is their ability to be prepared quickly and reliably with little skill and actual baking equipment. The three types of quick breads are generally classified as a pour batter. So it's thin in consistency. You can usually pour it directly from the mixing bowl. Then you have your drop batters, which are fairly thick and need to be scraped from the bowl into the baking pan and then leveled out in there. And then ultimately, number 3, you have your soft dough, which is thick enough to roll and shape by hand. I grabbed this recipe as an example of a quick bread that I thought looked amazing. So anyway, I got the recipe, I converted it to grams and baker's percent so I could understand it a little bit better. Now, if you want any of these recipes, you can email me and I'll be happy to send them along. However, you can find loads of recipes like this out there by searching quick bread. This recipe is very high in liquid, definitely placing it in the pour style batter category. This batter is easy and quick to prepare, as in the case of most quick breads. However, bake time and cooling time can push products like this to around the 1.5 hour mark, start to finish. I love the look of this bread, and keep in mind that it was made in an 8 by 8 inch bake pan where the authors of this recipe were not as focused on tall bread, but spreading it out over a larger area to bake it consistent and uniformly throughout. Beautiful. These breads are also quite common when there is a need for speed. Soda bread products contain no yeast and are commonly made with buttermilk like most quick breads. Soda bread generally produces a tight, dense crumb, yet the product is quite light and tender. Now, these types of breads are known to get a little chewy and dry after a day or so, pending the recipe, with a bit more of a scone-style mouthfeel and texture. Commonly, these breads are baked on a skillet, whereby the dough is kind of just lumped into a ball, placed in the middle of the skillet, and often scored with quite deep cuts. And then what happens after that? Now, often not really a pretty loaf of bread. They usually have irregular shapes and usually short in volume. But it's a bread nonetheless, and as we know, it can make a lovely accompaniment to traditional comfort foods or simply on its own with your topping of choice. Everyone has their own little spin on this product, but generally the amount of liquid, and that's usually buttermilk, is around 70 to 80% based on flour. Not a super high hydration for a batter, but definitely up there. Here you can see that I took a basic Irish soda bread recipe from the web. I converted it to grams and expressed these quantities in baker's percent for those of you that are interested. This style of quick bread is like most. It's better described as a thick batter that generally is not mixed very much at all and is more or less just kind of clumped together. As with most quick breads, this product bakes for anywhere from about 40 to 55 minutes usually, and temperature depends on the other goodies that may be added, such as sugar, egg, or fats. The English muffin style of bread has been designed to be somewhere in the middle of a standard bread and an English muffin. The texture of breads like this are a little coarser, but are perfect for beautiful yeasty flavored toast. This batter is reasonably high in hydration at almost 80% in this case. In this process, mixing for about 1 minute at mid to high speed using a mechanical mixer, or by hand for about 2 or 3 minutes until smooth and slightly elastic. This creates a nice bread-like texture. So after you've mixed it, you just throw it into a pan and bake it and basically eat it. This product style has numerous recipes available online and is among the fastest methods to make something quite similar to bread at only about 1 hour, from flour bag to dinner table. The fastest method I know for baking actual bread is the no-time dough method. This process is used by many of the large industrial and commercial bakeries because it's fast and efficient. Now, I'm not really here to talk about what the big dog baking companies are doing to keep pace with market trends and consumer shifts, but to mention that if speed is important to you as a home baker, no time is an option you can tailor to your home baking needs. There are many healthy grain, high fiber, and enriched recipes out there for no-time doughs that do not include scary chemical additives or processing aids. Do a little research, you may be pleasantly surprised. As a footnote to all the bread styles I just mentioned, speed can and will be affected, especially where baking or cooking is required, when scaling weights of the individual pieces are reduced. Smaller weights, less dough or batter mass, faster they finish. Simple, really. Steamed bread is typically made from wheat flour and is a popular ethnic option instead of baking. Now, this style of bread is made around the world in many countries with, of course, their own special little twists to the recipe and process. These products could be stuffed with goodies, toppings applied, or just as an alternative to baked bread. A number of these products can be made in under 30 minutes. Pending the dough weight and the style of the product. However, in general, the typical steamed bread is about an hour plus a bit of cooling time. Being that we just talked about steamed breads, I did want to spend a quick minute on actual boiled breads. Now, we know that pretzels and pretzel-style buns and breads are commonly boiled, and of course we have the obvious one being bagels. Now, there are ethnic variations I've found, but the process time can be similar to baking. And so unless you're making dumplings, I cannot really find too much that would be considered fast in the boiled bread area. But it's kind of a cool idea, though. Fried bread is most commonly associated with frying bread that has already been produced. However, there are numerous recipes out there for actually creating fried bread from scratch. Some of these take on a donut-style texture and characteristic, yet others more of the fried flatbread look, feel, and taste. They're lovely with toppings of your choice. There are many recipes from around the world producing products like this. Many of them are chemically leavened and very fast. It's basically mix, scale the dough to weight, shape it, fry it, enjoy. And lastly, let's look at microwave bread. Yes, you heard me, microwave bread. For me personally, I've never thought about making bread in a microwave and then actually eating it, but it seems like there is many recipes out there for this type of product. Some recipes seem very quick, and technically they make sense. But then there are those that take 2 hours or more. Now, if I was going to spend 2 hours to make a loaf of bread, I'm not sure a microwave bread would be my choice. Simply in efforts of being thorough, I've included in this video for those of you who may be interested in looking into it further.